Okay, let's see. Mike. Alright, hello everybody. Happy Sunday, fun day, bum day. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday. I know daylight savings was today. Rice was a bit confused too, due to the fact that daylight savings does not exist in Australia. So, with that being said, we shall start. We shall start with the interview today. Shall we? Oh, right. Let's get to Rice. Hello, Rice.
Hey, Jama.
How are you doing today?
Good. My day's only just started, but overall good.
That's good.
How's your day been?
It's been pretty long. No, it's actually been pretty short. Actually, because I woke, because me, Randy, me, Brian. No, yeah, me, Brian, Randy, Copes. We were playing Apex to like 6 last night, and we didn't
Damn.
realize. We definitely forgot that daylight savings existed. So we're like, shit, we're sleeping so late. So we literally all just rushed off to bed, and I got up like 3 hours ago.
Damn, alright.
Yeah, went vibed out a bit, right? Yeah, why watch some streams and then played the Apex game just before we got to this point here.
Alright. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. So you guys don't have daylight savings over there, am I correct?
Uh, there are other states in Australia which have daylight savings,
Yeah,
just not my one. Mine is like the only state that doesn't have it.
yeah. So like you were pretty confused since.
Yeah.
I mean, if I,
I basically
I mean, if I planned it better, if I knew this today was daylight savings, I would have told you, but I didn't know that either.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
So my,
I like didn't realize it was gonna be daylight savings, and I work off the assumption that Pacific time is 6 hours
yeah.
ahead of me basically, and Eastern is 9. I'm like, cool, I know the time. And then today it's like, that time's no longer right.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Sammy. Hello, Lucian. All right, shall we begin?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. Given the choice of anyone in the world, alive or dead, who would you want as a dinner date?
So I've had this question on my mind since I watched yours and Sammy's podcast the other day,
Yeah.
and I think that um I actually haven't like I don't know, I never really came up with an answer, but I think that um it would probably be like one of Australia's former cricket captains, Michael Clark, just because he's always been like an idol of mine, like growing up, and I've always loved cricket, and I think he'd be great to have as like a dinner date and get to like talk to about everything.
Uh,
The rest has been studying. Not
so,
really, Sammy.
so, like for people who don't know cricket, can you explain what it is?
um, it's for people in America who don't have cricket. It's kind of like baseball if you use like a full like circular field around like the
Yeah, yeah.
pitcher and the batter. But also the ball bounces and you don't exactly throw it. And then the way scoring works is different, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's a very simplified explanation.
I've been smacked with a cricket mallet, so I know the pain of
Oh,
getting
damn.
smacked by one. It wasn't a good time.
What about
Um,
you, Gemma? Who'd yours be?
Honestly, like even with every interview, right? Like with Sammy, I believe she asked me, and I said Michael Jackson. But then
Yep.
like going through a few interviews, I was thinking like both. both my grandma on my dad's side and my dad's oldest brother, because
Okay.
cause I grew up not really knowing them. I grew up not really knowing them, so like having to watch, like having to relive everything through tape was not good enough. So I really want that, that last dinner with them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um, would you like to be famous? In what way?
Ooh. I hmm. Honestly, I think like being like Twitch famous would be cool. Just because um I don't know, to see the community as someone who's like been growing as a Twitch streamer over the past 6 or so months. The community that I've grown and then the communities that I've been become a part of now, to see what they're like after 6 months would be crazy. To see what it'd be like if like you were Twitch streamers, I reckon.
So like Pokimane level in a way.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I feel like I'd want to be more like I don't know. I feel like I'd want to be more famous for like gameplay rather than I don't know. I don't even know how to explain Pokemon's level of Twitch fame.
Mm, all right, moving on. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're gonna say?
Every time. It doesn't really matter who, apart from like I suppose like my parents or maybe like super close friends, but every other telephone call I make is pre-rehearsed for the most part. Just because I don't know, I get anxious about it sometimes, and I like to plan a lot of things I do, including telephone calls. So I'll like rehearse it and whatnot.
Mm, what would what would be your perfect day?
Ooh. Honestly, I think that my perfect day would be it would have to be weather like today is for me. So today it's overcast and it's quite cool and like feels like it's gonna rain and it's a nice cool breeze. Because I used to love the heat, but now that I've had to like deal with the heat constantly every year living in Brisbane. It's been super hot. I'm starting to hate it. So a nice cool day, and I think honestly, I would just be like eating really good food and playing like games with everybody because I find those like the best days. So
Mm, when did you last sing to yourself?
um, probably in the car yesterday on the way to McDonald's after dealing with the repercussions of drinking with Bo on a Saturday night for me.
Uh, and what did you sing?
Um, it was so there were a few. I just had my normal playlist done. So, um, 7 Years by Lucas Graham, some Machine Gun Kelly. Uh, one of my favorite playlists. I don't remember the names of many songs in there. Those are like the main ones I can remember. It's a very short drive from my house to McDonald's.
I
It's like
see.
a couple minutes out of the way.
Mm, when's the last time you sang to someone else?
A couple of years ago, probably. Uh, it would have been. Oh, actually, no, that's a lie. I had a like Discord vibe session with my stream wifey and some of her friends about a month ago or so, and we were just chilling in Discord, singing along to music. So it would have been then.
Mm, ooh, okay. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or a body of a 30-year-old for the next 60 years of your life, Which would you want?
Um, Let me think. That's a good question. Mind of a 30-year-old body. I think I think I'd choose the body of a 30-year-old simply because you can have the mind of a 30-year-old and have like a very active mind and want to do stuff, but if you're getting on to older years, then it's not the easiest to keep up with. Meanwhile, if you chose the body of a 30-year-old, like even if your like mind is tired, you don't like have to go and do stuff. Whereas then on the days where you want to, you're still able to. You're muted by the way, Gemma, I think. Nope, still don't hear you.
Oh, there we go. My mic just went crazy.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. Okay, so for what in your life do you feel the most grateful for?
Um, I think that I'm most grateful for my parents choosing to adopt me, as weird as that. Well, I don't think it's weird, but like the opportunities that I've been able to have because of that, and like who knows what would have happened had I not. But I definitely think that is probably the biggest one.
But yeah,
So
so you said you were adopted, right?
yeah.
Did you ever wonder? Did you ever wanted to find your actual parents?
To me, it's not like the biggest thing. Like I've never really cared whether I do or don't. My parents tried, like my adopted parents tried to see
Yeah.
whether I wanted to when I was like 17 or 18. And they planned on like going for a trip over to South Korea. Um, like and taking me obviously, but that was like right when North Korea started to be all weird about stuff, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's probably not the right time to go." And then I've not really ever cared that much whether I do or I don't, so it wasn't a big deal to me. I think I'd mainly like to go just to see what it's like over there, though.
Like, do you know like anything else about your family, like your blood family, or like do you have any
Uh,
siblings?
no, not that I know of, because I was yeah, I was adopted from like in it wasn't really even an orphanage. I think it was more just like through an adoption agency over there, but I don't remember anything about my blood family. And then I was also adopted at like 3 or 4 months old, so I don't have any memories.
So, would you like to go find them though, if you had the chance to?
If I had the chance, I think yeah, I would. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be a really interesting experience, that's for sure. But yeah, it's not the highest of priorities for me currently.
All right, you guys know that. You guys heard that. Yo, we're gonna start a GoFundMe for Rice and go find his parents. We're gonna welcome in Magma Zone. All right, yo, we're gonna start a GoFundMe and we're gonna help find Rice, find his family.
That's that's really funny.
Yo, thank you for the follow. Too fresh kid. All right. Well, with that being said, if you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be?
Um, well, I'm the oldest child in my family,
Like your
and
adopted family, or
yeah, yeah, in my adopted family. So I have two sisters and a brother who are all younger than me, and I think if I could have if I could change like anything about the way that I was brought up, it'd probably be like I'd like for my parents to be less strict because they were the most strict with me. And uh I feel like mental health wise and stuff like that, it like definitely had an effect of that. And then um yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but I think that they were quite strict with me and then not so strict with my siblings. And it yeah, that has some effects on how I am today, I suppose.
Mm,
It also means that like anything I didn't have access to back then, especially because like I lived in a country town and lived slightly out of town, meant that like things I wanted to do I couldn't do, and so now every opportunity I have to do them now I do them. I have no self control.
mm, mm. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained one ability or quality, what would it be?
Hmm. Uh, like what kind of ability are we talking?
Like a human trait, like a personal trait.
Okay, yeah, I feel like the trait of quality I'd like to like if I could wake up with one would probably be like um what would the word for it be? Be like having better like initiative, like taking the initiative in a lot more things. Because there are definitely things I like want to do or that I plan on doing, and then I don't either because um I guess that I'm not confident to take on the challenges or the things I want to do. Whereas if I did take the initiative and do them, they'd probably work out better in my favor, I suppose.
Mm, if a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know?
Um, I think I'd wanna. I think I'd want to know what like the future would be like. Although that would then make me like overthink about it every time. Every time like a choice came up, I'd be like, does this actually, you know, lead towards that future?
Mm, is there something you've ever dreamed of doing for a long time, and why haven't you done it yet?
Uh, I've dreamed of probably it would be a super long time, but I've definitely uh dreamed of like making uh my own games because that's what I studied at uni and that's what I kind of had a passion for before I even went to uni. So that would be like 7 or 8 years. And I haven't because uh I lack the skills in like the coding department, and then I'm always I've never really found the time to teach myself to code, and I wasn't that great at it at uni. And so now every time I like plan on starting like a development project or plan on learning, I always find that I don't have the time in between like streaming, watching everybody's streams, and then like everything outside of that.
So like, if you ever got the chance, would you ever pick it up again, or?
Yeah, I definitely would. I think um I planned on starting one a little while ago, and then it was probably right around the time that like my Twitch started to take off, and then I felt like I had to make a choice between whether I want to work on a game development project or if I wanted to put my time and energy into Twitch, and I felt like Twitch was the better option for me.
I mean, have you ever thought like streaming, like you streaming doing the process?
Yeah, I have because I think that there are like a lot of people on Twitch who either like have their own projects going on or definitely have like helpful advice. So I think that streaming it would be kind of a good idea. Um, but at the moment there are like so many other things that I've been wanting to stream and slash have been streaming. So yeah, it hasn't been super high up on my list currently because I definitely know it's something that I can do like at any time as well.
Oh, welcome in, Flack, and thank you for the 3 month
Ooh, black.
sub, tier 1 sub. You're having a good day, boy, baby boy. Um, well, similar to this question. So, is there something like, is there a hobby you want to pick up too, but you haven't yet?
Um, not quite. There's a hobby I'd like to pick back up, which is as a kid slash teenager, I played piano and I played piano for like 12 years or something like that. Um, and I haven't played since like grade 11 or so. And it's a hobby I'd like to pick back up, but I don't think there are any hobbies exactly that like I haven't done that I'd like to do.
Mm, what is your greatest accomplishment?
Um, I think my greatest accomplishment is actually like partially getting to live out my dream of becoming a professional cricketer. Because as a kid, that's what I wanted to do. So I loved cricket like more than any other sport, and that was the goal I wanted to accomplish. And throughout high school, all my later years of high school, that's where I put most of my focus on. And then towards the end of my second last year of high school, I got offered a semi-professional contract to play overseas in Scotland,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was a huge accomplishment for me. Unfortunately, injury once I got back from that contract
Yeah.
meant that I wasn't able to pursue that further. But yeah, it's a great accomplishment. I'm quite proud of that one.
Mm. What do you value most in a friendship?
I value honesty more so than anything because there are a lot of people who I'm friends with who aren't the most honest people when it comes to like, well, a lot of things, not even like if it's asking for advice or whatever. But the friendships I have with people who can be honest about anything and like will tell you like if you're messing up or they don't agree with something, I think like those are the friendships that I enjoy the most.
Mm. What is your most treasured memory?
Um, uh, I have a couple. I'd say that either um uh either like I have a few with friends from just after we finished school where we all went away, kind of like we have a thing called like schoolies, which is for like school leavers. Once you finish your last year of high school, everyone goes away kind of like on a big party thing.
Yeah.
And so I have some really good memories of that with friends and getting to hang out with everyone and like a bunch of friends from school and other schools as well and making new friends through it. But the other one that like really stands out is uh the birth of like my brother, who's the youngest in our family, and I remember it very vaguely, but it was nice to have like my entire family there um, for that, and the very few snippets I have of that. From, I think I was like 5 or so. They're quite nice as well.
So like, I don't remember the term. There's a term like you go in like a committee you plan like to go after grad like after grad trip. I think it was like a Q trip or I don't remember exactly, but like you go with like a group of your friends like in your school. I think no. Some schools were offered that program right after when you get out of high school, and then you guys like choose like a destination location and whatnot. I don't remember exactly the details, but I have like few friends I know that went on like those Q trips. I think it's that's what like I think my senior year, they canceled it due to the fact that like, honestly everything with no with the graduation class before mine actually they fucked up our graduation in a way
Right.
so like they got fucked up like at grad.
Yeah.
So like they had to just switch out because they had a grad at a hall like a big ass hall. So they
Yeah.
ruined that. So like graduation for us was like pretty smaller, like in a smaller area and whatnot.
Okay, I see.
And then they also destroyed the Q trip for us too. They also destroyed that. So we
Yeah.
so like our grad class never got the chance to take that chance, you know. But like people still like went on trips though and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
like a it's not exactly something schools plan here. It's more like
yeah,
once you finish school, everyone it's just a thing that's done. And
yeah.
yeah, like everyone or most people go on trips with like friends and whatnot. But
Hello, Crush. Hello, Christine. Hello, Boweldy. Bo, thank you for the tier 1 sub for 5 months now. Bo, welcome in, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday. Um, ooh. So, similar question. What does friendship mean to you?
um hold on. Uh that's a good question. I don't really know how I describe what friendship means to me. I suppose it's for me, um friendships are just I suppose.
Bo.
Hmm.
Friendship means that you're willing to give your bro a rub because times are hard. A back rub.
I don't know, because I feel like friendships. I was gonna say like people you can um like fall and hang out with, but then I
Oh,
a lot of friendships with
Rice, you're
people
lagging
that
out
I
a
don't. I
Rice, you're lagging out a bit.
limit.
Or is it me? Rice, a row.
Am I good enough? Hello, Joe?
Your camera just we just lost your camera
Oh, okay. Um,
and then your audio is sound like a robot. It could be me too, but hmm. Technical difficulties. Oh, sorry for the technical difficulties. Oh, yeah, we're
is
good.
that,
We
that
should be good.
cool? Um, I don't know how I describe what friendship means to me. I was gonna say like people that I get to like talk to and hang out with, but then I have like a lot of people who I have friendships with who I don't talk to or hang out with like ever. So I'm not sure how to answer that question, Jama.
No, no worries.
What about you?
I don't know. It's honestly just time, right? It's honestly just time. Yeah,
Yeah.
like friendship is important, but then like you have to know who's gonna be there and who's not gonna be there. Like when you need them the most.
That makes sense.
Yeah, honestly, like if they're gonna come back for you, you know they're gonna be your friend forever. Or like even if they just checking on you and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mm, a hug, yeah. Hello, Vince. Welcome in. Mm, okay. Well, next question. Mm, what roles do love and affection play in your life?
Um, well, I have zero love life whatsoever, but I think that a lot of a lot of things I used to do definitely revolved around love and affection and like wanting to good job, Raz. um used to play like a bigger part, but after my last relationship and stuff like that, I've definitely put more of a focus on myself and trying to improve myself. So at the moment, they don't play that big a role, but previously they did.
Mm-hmm. All right. Shall we talk about family a bit more? So,
Sure.
um, so like for those who missed it, can we hear about your story with your family again?
Sure. So I was adopted into my current family. I was adopted when I was, I think, 3 or 4 months old, from like an adoption agency in South Korea, who I've never met anyone from, and I don't know anything about my blood family. I think that's about it.
So then, of the family you have now, how many siblings do you have?
I've got two sisters and a brother, all of whom are younger than me.
And how's your relationship with them?
Uh, I get along with them better now. I think I didn't get along with them in the past because they were all quite immature, but they were all grown up a bit now. Um, and then a lot of them like actually take responsibility for stuff they do now, which was super frustrating. Uh, a few years ago.
Mm, okay, hello Kevin, hello Keefun, Vince. Yeah, Vince. I don't know if Rice would ever want it, but like I like with a heart like mine, right? Like I want him to reunite with his family, but Rice just just finds it funny. But honestly, if we could probably start a GoFundMe with for Rice, help him find his family. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna go through. Honestly, I know it's a huge process to find your family too, right? Especially right now, it's COVID, right? And it's hard
Hmm.
to do stuff.
Yeah. Vince, my parents uh wanted to and wanted like my like adopted parents wanted me to and wanted to go on a trip to like at least um take me over there to the adoption agency and to like see everything and whatnot when I was 17. But because of like world events back then, we didn't end up going, and it's not the highest priority on my list. I'm your bio dad. Do I get my allowance now, Bo?
Mm, okay. Well. Okay, so how close are you? How close and warm are you to your adopted family right now?
I'm pretty close to them. Definitely more so now than uh when I was younger. Um, we have a pretty good relationship now.
Mm, do you feel your childhood was happier than most other people's?
Um, oh, yes and no. I definitely feel like I had a very like I had a pretty good childhood where there wasn't exactly, I had everything I needed. Like, never really struggled for anything. But then at the same time, like mental health wise, I wasn't great through like my teens. But it was also something I dealt with alone.
Mm, how's your relationship with your parents?
It's good. We get along. We talk reasonably often. It's not like, oh, like some people who talk to their parents every couple, like every week or so. I probably talk to mine like once every, yeah, 3 or 4 weeks maybe. I also don't see them a lot, mainly because um it's a reasonable drive to where they live, and also I get really bad allergies when I go there. But my relationship with them is fine at the moment.
Mm, okay. Um, let's see. Okay, so finish the sentence for me, Race.
All right.
I wish I had someone whom I could share blank.
Uh, uh, I think it'd be I wish I had someone I could share. Uh, hmm, hmm. uh, I think it'd be someone that I can share happy moments and accomplishments with in the future.
Mm, ooh, that's interesting. Yeah. All right. Want to tell us some stories, Rice? Story
All
time
right.
with Ricey.
Story time with Rice.
All right. So, do you have any embarrassing stories you want to tell us?
Um, I don't, every time I get asked about embarrassing stories, I was a very like kind of keep to myself kid, and then I'm very introverted. So I can never really like think of anything. I think the like
Yeah.
most like embarrassing thing would have possibly been my friend's 26th birthday, where I went with the intention of doing a bow and just getting fucked up. And I like drank a lot super early in the night, and then like blacked out slash passed out for majority of it. And I have like a bunch of, well, had a bunch of pictures on my old phone from it of people, because I had my phone out, people who were just taking selfies with me while I was passed out on my phone. That was an interesting one.
Wow, we love those. Just those days. We love those.
Yeah.
Hello, Synagogue. Welcome in. Do you have any other stories? Just you just want to tell us? It doesn't have to be embarrassing, but like any kind of story.
Um, I feel so uninteresting when I try to think of stories.
Like I know like your future kids are gonna eventually ask you to, right? So you might as well.
Yeah. The problem is that I lead a very non-interesting life where all I do is wake up, watch everybody on Twitch, then stream on Twitch, and then sleep and repeat that. Um, um, I really don't think I have any. I'm so boring.
No worries. Um. Okay. Okay. So here, your house contains everything you own. Wait. Oh God. Whoa. Not like this.
But we just put the numbers less than you.
Less than you.
Hmm.
Okay, so your house contains everything you own catches on fire. After saving your loved ones, pets, your roommates, or like whoever else, right? You make one last final dash to save one item. What is it gonna be?
Um, huh. I think I would probably. Hmm, I don't own anything super interesting, so I think it would have to be like my phone, as boring as that is, but I have everything on my phone, like everything I need. So
Your
like
your
my cards and everything.
your PC.
I was going to choose my PC, but if my house catches on fire, my PC's covered by insurance and I need a new PC. So it wouldn't be my PC. Just gotta make sure an insurance company never sees this.
Okay, so growing up, what did you want to be?
I want to be either a cricketer or like a esports gamer. Like I went to play video games professionally when I was growing up. I played a couple like Halo tournaments, Halo 3 tournaments when I was a teenager, but then like cricket was what I actively pursued until my until like I turned 20-ish. And then I started focusing on my studies, and then my studies became focused on video games, and now I stream.
Mm, who was your hero growing up?
My hero was Ricky Ponting, who is a former Australian cricket player slash captain, and then Michael Clark, um, and then like from the time I started playing Counter Strike in 2015, it's been Olaf Meister who plays for Fnatic because he's having watched a bunch of his content both on like Twitch and YouTube, but then also seeing um background story and documentaries on him, like his work ethic and like that kind of stuff is something I look up to.
Mm, who? I've yet to ask this question on any of the interviews, but if you could
Oop.
live anywhere else but Australia, where would you live?
I would live in Canada. I'm
Okay.
not sure where, but I'm not sure where, but there it seems like a really nice place to live, and also um
Want to get away
me
from the heat
and
too? You want to get away from the heat?
yes, yes. Me and my last girlfriend, because we dated for quite a long time. We'd watch like I don't know if you've ever watched them. They're like the house tour
Oh yes,
videos
yes,
that like
yes.
some real estate companies do.
Yeah.
And there were so many nice houses that we saw like in Canada, and I was like, this would be perfect. I also love the snow, and I don't
Yeah.
get snow in my state here in Australia, so that'd be nice. Hi Tarek, Habibi Gol.
You're about you're gonna come to Canada. You're like, oh shit, I wish I was in Australia. I love how cold it is down over here in Canada. Hello, Tarek. Um, what is your what is your biggest fear?
Um, I think my biggest fear is hmm, I feel like it's probably uh like I suppose dying alone, and not like in the sense of like relationship and stuff wise, but also like not be like having um like close connections or relationships with people then I suppose.
Tarek, you're not wrong.
Drop me That was one time, Tarek. One time.
Might also need the honeys. True, that is true. So
Tarek, I have Sammy now that you have JD. So we good there.
let's go. To hello Randy, welcome in. Both wearing gray shirts. Me too. Hell yeah, let's go. It's a gray shirt kind of day, anyways. Um, have you gone anywhere outside of Australia?
Um I have. I've been to Abu Dhabi. Um and I've also been to Scotland and parts of the UK,
Hmm,
which were all during my cricket trip.
nice. Mm, ooh. What motivates you to work harder?
Uh, it's a combination of like always wanting to like be the best version of myself that I can possibly be, but also I'm kind of um like kind of like a perfectionist. Like I like getting stuff right and I like doing things right. So like um once I start something, I try and always see it through and try and like do it the best way I can.
Randy, how do I become a BJ brother? Randy, you go to your hospital where you were born. You know, that hospital, and ask them for a name change. Simple as that, brother.
Just put a B at the start of your first
Yeah,
name, Randy, and make your middle
Brandy,
last name start
Brandy,
with J.
Brandy, Brandy, Brandy Lee 17. I'm here
You
for.
marry Brian and you take his last name, and then put a B at the start of your name, Randy. Problem solved.
Yo, Claire, welcome in. Welcome in. I am here for rice. Let's go.
Hi, Claire.
So, did you finish school?
I did, yeah. I finished both high school and then my degree at uni.
So, what did you do?
Um, in uni, I did 1 year of engineering and I absolutely hated it because it was I don't think it was so much the subjects that just the way that they were like run at my uni. Like we had a couple of assessments where you actually had to build stuff. So we had to build like wooden bridges, and then there's one where you had to make which something that was essentially a crane. And um, not surprisingly, it wasn't cheap, but they also don't subsidize any of it. So one of them we spent quite a bit of money on our project. Also had two people in our group who didn't do anything, and we failed. And I'm like, I'm not paying $400 to fail a subject. Um, and then so I changed to doing a um Bachelor of Games and Interactive Entertainment and majored in game design. And so I
Nice.
graduated with a bachelor in game design and then a minor in engineering, which I can't use.
True. What makes you laugh a lot?
Um, I'd say that the thing that makes me laugh the most recently is watching Sammy and Tarek bully Sharky on her stream because it's so funny. And they mainly bully him for being ridiculously single. But it's so funny.
Okay. Um. mhm. Ooh, good question here, Rice. What makes you what makes you wake up every morning?
Um, can I say the heat? Because every day it's like I go to bed at like 5 a.m. and I wake up at midday, not because I want to, but because it's so hot. Nah, I think it's because uh like I wake up because I wanna like it goes back to like the what makes you like want to succeed type of thing. And
Yeah.
it's the like I wake up because I have things that I haven't done or I haven't done as well as I'd like to, and that every day is like an opportunity for me to do those things and to get them right, I suppose.
Um. If you could choose to do one activity for the whole day, what would it be?
Be playing games.
Uh,
100%.
ooh. So, growing up, you did chores, right?
Yes.
What was your most favorite and what was your least favorite?
Um, my most favorite was um I think my most favorite was probably vacuuming, just because um I essentially was just like I'm a zoom around the house with the vacuum. And so we had quite a large house as well, but you just got to like run up and run up and down the house with the vacuum. Or at least that's what I did. I probably did a really, really bad job. But then my least favorite was when um would be like probably doing the dishes because I don't like wet food in the sink. It's not something I enjoy.
Huh? Wait, Randy, why are you using your own command, Randy? This is unlike of you to use your own command on this. It's interesting. That's my favorite thing. When is
Arex's wet
true?
food in a sink, or were
Wet
we
rice in the
talking
sink.
spicy Randy? Oh no.
Wet rice in the sink. Which rice is in the sink though, Tarek? Is it the rice or like rice here? Kanji in the sink. Kan. Mm, okay, well. All right, next question. What's one thing you like to tell your younger self?
Um, uh, I'd probably tell my younger self that like you don't have to rush everything. Like you have so much time to do like all the things you want to do. You don't have to rush and you don't have to try and cram them in. And I think that probably would have been something good for my younger self to hear.
Um. Ooh. Okay, so once COVID is lifted and you're able to travel to one place, where would that place be?
I really want to come to like America. I already have like a trip semi planned for the end of October, I think it is, for a friend's wedding. But I really want to come to America because I want to try and like get around to a few states and meet a bunch of my awesome streaming friends now. Malaysia.
Malaysia.
I'll come there on the way home, Tara.
Ah, Randy's pad. Hello, trashy mom. Hello, mama. Mama trash. Ooh. Okay. Since you meet so many people and not so great people on Twitch, but mainly the ones you call friends, do you think you be able to make the similar friends if the pandemic never happened?
Um, I think so. But I don't think it would have been as many if the pandemic hadn't happened. Because there are some people who I'm friends with through Twitch and not who only like joined Twitch and because of like the pandemic because they're stuck inside with nothing to do, you
Mm.
know. So and there are definitely some like close friendships that I have who I wouldn't have with people like had the pandemic not happened.
Mm, um. Okay, so what made you continue streaming after day one?
Um, hmm. Honestly, it was kind of the fact that well, for the first little bit at least, it was the fact that it was a good way to like make content, I suppose, because I'd done YouTube before and I was kind of too lazy for that. But after like I think after you have like the first couple like random people who follow or chat and chat, it's like one of those things that's really addicting. Like I suppose meeting new people and like getting to talk and getting to know people is something I find like so fun about Twitch. So it definitely became that really quick is what like made me continue streaming.
Mm. If you were to choose a thing or an object to represent your life, what would it be?
A thing one object. Um hmm. I I'm not sure. Probably I don't know drama. Um, hmm. I don't know. I don't know what I would choose to represent my life.
Yep, no worries, no worries. So where where did you get the name Little Rice Live from?
Oh, okay. So, previously on Twitch, I was Beretta TV, because that was my in-game name in Counter-Strike. But I am not the most creative person, and I couldn't think of any um any sort of branding stuff from logo to emotes or anything like that. Um, and now seeing a lot of people in the Twitch community I'm a part of who their emotes kind of just the cartoonized versions of themselves. I'm like, oh, that would have made sense. But we had a day where we were hanging out on Counter-Strike where we um were making up funny rapper names,
Hmm.
and someone suggested me to me that I should just be Lil Rice. And then that's who I played as on Counter Strike, where it's a Counter Strike name for ages. And then one of my friends, once I hit affiliate, uh, said that if I changed my name to Lil Rice on Twitch, he'd gift 5 subs. I was like, all right, bet. And but then once I changed, it became super obvious that there was so much more I could do with Lil Rice as a brand,
Yeah.
both in in terms of everything. So that became a positive side effect, I suppose.
Mm. Okay, so wait, this whole time I thought Lil Rice was a rapper. So
I do not rap.
if you never how do I question this, yo? So let's say you never literally like you don't know about Twitch, okay? So if Twitch wasn't a thing, what would you be doing right now?
Um, if Twitch wasn't a thing, I would either still be um pursuing some sort of sporting endeavor because I enjoy playing sports. I've recently, well, I say recently, it's been probably about a year now. I've taken up golf. Um, or I would probably be working on game development projects like we talked earlier. I'd be actually trying to do something with my degree.
Mm-hmm. Mm, let's see. Cricket champ or strongest competition? Comp. What would you pick? Yeah, which one would you pick? You get to pick one there. Cricket champ or strongest man contestant?
Uh, Cricket. So
What's your degree? Or what's your degree, Ricey?
my degree is a bachelor of games and games and interactive entertainment, and I major in game design, and my minor is engineering, Tarek.
Mm, true, true. All right, yeah.
I've also done a diploma in business, and then I'm currently working on a diploma in retail
Nice.
because I'm forced to do them.
Wait, you did a diploma in retail?
Yeah,
I thought people just work in retail for free, you know?
yeah. You'd think that. I don't. I've only been doing it for a few weeks because it's something you have to do for unemployment here. So unemployment, you basically have um, a year of unemployment where all it is like you search for X amount of jobs per month to like collect your unemployment. And then after a year, you have to do 6 months of like either work placement, study, or like volunteering. And because of COVID, we couldn't do work placement or volunteering, so I had to do study. And then you have 6 months on, 6 months off of that type of stuff to claim unemployment.
Cause there's this living joke with me and my one friend I met over Minecraft, right? Cause he's also in Australia,
Yeah.
so I'm talking to him. So basically, the meme is that you Australians go to school for 6 months and then take a 6 months vacation.
It's pretty close to that. At uni, it's very close to that because at uni it's like 12 weeks of study with a like 1 or 2 week mid semester break in the center, and then in in between the semesters there's like a 2 month break. So yeah, when you're at uni, you definitely spend like 6 months studying, 6 months not studying.
Hello, occasionally.
Okay, so
We'll come in. Let's see. Ooh, interesting one. All right, Rice. I bet you your. I bet you. Wait. I bet you can't use your palm, your right palm, and it won't touch your right shoulder.
I've seen this on TikTok all the time, Jama. uh, but I suppose I can give it to you for the podcast. Um,
Um. Okay. This is a TikTok. Yes, it is a TikTok.
yeah,
Yeah.
this will be on TikTok, we should.
Okay. So, did did your family have any traditions growing up, and does it still happen?
Uh, the only like big family tradition we have is that every 2 weeks my family back home do like a Sunday dinner. So there are quite a few of them who live around the same area, and they'll get together for dinner every couple of weeks on Sunday. And then the other one is that Christmas is like our house because it's quite large. It's like the place where we all come for like Christmas. So we have like a massive Christmas lunch and dinner. Like thankfully this year or like last year it was back to being a bunch of like roast and everything like that. So it's really fun. And it's also good to like catch up with like all my cousins and stuff who, despite living in the same city, I don't see like ever.
Mm, do you have any nicknames like your family call you by or friends?
Um, my family call me BJ, which isn't actually like my name that everyone on Twitch thinks it is
Yeah.
because my name's actually Roderick. Um, Roderick James, and then Stephen Grant is my last name, which is why I'm a BJ bro. And then um, my friends um, don't really call me anything besides BJ either. Don't think.
Put me in a headlock with those biceps. Let me feel those biceps.
Tarek has zero chill.
BJ from BJ. Ooh. This is I don't know. I consider this question a tough question to answer, but would you rather win the lottery or work at a perfect job?
I would rather work at the perfect job than win the lottery. Because, um, yeah, I think my perfect job would be like being a full-time Twitch streamer. And I feel like if I was doing that, then it'd be hella good.
Honestly, the lottery wouldn't get you that far.
Mm.
It get you like probably like last year.
Unless you're like, I mean, if you're good at investing, then
Yeah.
probably. But I have no self-control, and I would spend it all like as soon as I got it. So it wouldn't last me very long at all.
Um, Another new question. If you were to choose three people from your Twitch family to be stranded on an island with you, who are you gonna bring?
Um, let's see. Um,
I should write that down too.
hmm. Um, I think that hmm.
No offense would be taken.
uh, I feel like I'd have to take Crushy because Crushy, I feel like would know what he's doing. Um, and then
Yeah.
I can't take JD Tarek because JD would just complain. I mean, JD would end up yelling at each other over something stupid. So I think Crushy, um,
Valheim Pro, yeah.
true. Uh, who else? Uh, Crushy, Ronan, and um, then like, hmm, I don't know who I'd take for the third.
Tarek, I need a break. Sorry. That's funny. Yeah.
We could take Tarek. I'm sure we could find a use for you, Tarek. I just like Crushy delegate everything.
Tarek got wrecked. Damn, Sammy, what a savage. I use, yeah. He'll find something. Mm-hmm. Ooh. If money was no object, what would you do all day?
Um, I would donate gift anonymous subs to people's streams. And I'd probably just sit around eating lots of takeaway food all day and play games, Tarek. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, do you have any pet peeves?
Um, hmm.
CC, welcome in.
Hi, CC.
Hope you're not throwing juice boxes
I
at kids, CC.
feel like CC would be starting fires. very CC thing to do. I think that wait, what was the question again, John?
Um. Okay, I forward that to you. uh. Oh, pet peeves.
I think my biggest pet peeve is like hypocrisy. That it just annoys me so much. Yeah, especially from like um, I suppose people I have to deal with often. It's like more frustrating.
All right, so we're gonna change a bit the segment up a bit. So
Oh.
okay, so what's a few things in Australia say that Americans say differently?
Um, in terms of like pronouncing differently or having different words for it.
Having different words or pronunciation too. It could be either or.
Um, well, we say fuel. You guys say gas.
We some people say
For your
fuel.
car.
Yeah, but
I hear a lot of people say gas.
yeah,
We call McDonald's Macca's. Um,
that is true. Yeah, that is true. You guys use it differently compared to us. That word that Tarek said.
oh yeah, that's very true, Tarek. Vomiting
Because
bird seed.
that word we use as like what like bastard something like that. But then you guys
Mm,
call it like a friend and whatnot.
yeah, it
Yeah,
kind of depends. In Australia, um, like it kind of depends what you put in front of that word. Cause
mm-hmm.
it's like a descript. It's like a yeah, it's like friend, but then you could also like put a bunch of describing words in front of it to change
CC
how people
please.
take it, I suppose. Um, yeah, we just shortened a lot of words
God.
here. Like, oh no.
CC please.
Oh no. How much has
Two,
CC been lurking?
2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Use it as an insult. Yeah, most people use it as an insult.
Hmm.
All right, man.
Playtime. Oh, what were you saying, John?
Cheers. We're just gonna split the CC's water, yo. Yeah, I
Do I
know.
have to go get some water?
Yes, you do.
Should I get All right. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
No worries. CC, I think I should just ban you from.
Yeah, I got
I'm
some water,
tired. I'm
John.
not tired. I'm not tired. All right, yeah, we can split 5 sips each, yo.
All right.
Cheers. I don't know. It's weird that my tongue, like even like the amount of water I drink, right? My tongue feels hella dry. But it's whatever.
Oh, that's sweet.
Mm-hmm. I say that
Thanks, Tara.
true.
I haven't. I have to go get it re-dyed, but I don't have the money for it at the moment. Probably 2 weeks time.
If you don't mind, what time is it
So
for you?
it's 12:30 in the afternoon,
12:30.
which is normally about the time I wake up, but not today.
I'm honored. Rice is drinking Wawa, too. Do you guys call it Wawa over there, or is it just a CC thing?
No, it's just a CC thing. We call it water. Well, I don't know anyone else who doesn't call it water.
Ooh. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Um, It's a question. I think in 5 years I'd like to um like have my own place, or at least be like moved from where I am now. Because while where I live now is pretty good, I don't have a lot of space. I'd like either my own place with a bit more space, or I suppose to be living with someone. And then um hopefully by then either my Twitch will have taken off a bit more, or I'll have a job finally. Because that would be nice. I'd like to have a job so I have money to do the things I want to do.
I'll have a million of burbs after 5 years. Do you guys call it burbs in Australia, or is it just a meme?
Uh, we I think overall people just say birds, but like if you're memeing, people say Forbes, BORB, or Burbs like Susie
Yeah.
says. I don't know. I only talk to people on Twitch, so I don't really know.
Terex is in your arms, in his arms. Next
Mm.
5 years.
I mean, Sammy and Tarek are gonna move to Australia, so
That's not if Sammy murders
it's
Tarek.
true.
Mm. What's the longest you've gone without sleeping?
Uh, like 50 something hours, because um I used to have like not exactly like LAN parties, but like a couple of like me and my friends would always get together and play like Xbox and stuff over a weekend, like during school. And there were a couple like long weekends where we'd like go over to theirs like Friday night, and we'd play games like all Friday night, all Saturday night, and then like Sunday would be when you finally crash. So it's probably around like 50 something hours. I know for a fact I've not been up for 3 days straight though. I could do that.
If she murders me, I get my lifelong wish of dying, so it's a win-win. Either I be with Sammy or I'm dead. There's no losers here. Mm-hmm.
But Sammy, if you think about it, if Tarek dies, you finally get to fuck over JD once and for all.
You drove me to it.
You drove me to it.
Wait, wait. Cece's not from Australia, right?
No, she's not.
Cause I remember she was from somewhere else. But I don't know. Sometimes honestly, it's getting no.
Ooh, Ingrid.
Hell yeah, Ingrid. Thank you for the sub for 5 months. Singrid. I don't know. Like every time we talk, I always think CC is like from Australia too. That's I got that type of
Nah.
vibe. I got that type of vibe. But then I remember CC saying she wasn't. So
Is it
hey,
because CC is super chaotic?
yeah,
And
super.
that's what you associate with Australians?
Hell yeah, Colb's big 7 big months, baby. Hope Ingrid, Colb, hope you guys are having good Sundays. Colb, hope you get your rest. Oh, actually Ingrid too. Hope you guys had enough rest due to the fact that that today was daylight savings. Cause Colb, I know we slept so late last night, playing all that Apex. Ingrid, hope you're having fun, enjoying the life at home, and not torturing Randy. Cause we know you guys been torturing each other when you guys were over there. Hope you guys don't end up getting killed like Sammy and
Oh
hope
damn, Sammy.
hell yeah. Hell yeah, guys. We got a hype train, baby. Choo choo. Okay, so Ingrid, so it's just like Tarek's and Sammy's kind of story, right? So Sammy said she wants to murder Tarek when they meet up. So hopefully it doesn't come to that, Ingrid and Randy. I heard Randy was only up late last night because you weren't at home. No, because you went back. Timeless, baby. Thank you for the biddies, boy. Positive vibes all the way from Alberta. Thank you for stopping by as always, Jason. Oh, ho ho, let's go. The party is here. Damn, everybody's here today, yo. Let's go. Hell yeah, thank you, Ricey. Thank you for the gifted sub to CC. Kellen. Thank you for the gifted sub to Lucian. Dang. Honestly, at this point, I've added some new questions today. No, not like you sped through the. I think you're the fastest person as of right now that sped through every single question I've had. I had to even Google up some questions because you just ran by them out so fast. Why not both? Jeez. I'm gonna go say hi to Bobo, TV, and Deca. All right, have a good one. Hope everyone's having a good day. She wants to murder me and kisses and smooches. Are you sure, Tarek? Are you sure?
What again molest us?
Are you sure about that, Tarek? Are you sure she just doesn't want to murder you? But yeah, thank you guys for the hype train as always. Would that be? Could be, yeah, Claire, you're not wrong. Could be.
Depends at what point the death comes, Claire.
Smoochies first, good lord. Unless, well, y'all didn't say which order. Yeah, it could happen in any way. Look at this. We're planning. we're planning for the murder of Tarek 97 in chat.
Sammy's super wholesome. She's just putting Tarek's needs before her own.
I didn't think I needed to. People are weird. Listen, people are weird. Claire, I heard you're gonna be there to be her what do you call it, yo? Partner, Sammy's partner in crime, yo. Wow,
that would make sense. From what I know about Claire would definitely help Sammy murder Tarek.
With that being said, does anyone have any questions for Rice here? As this hype train is going on, does anyone have any questions?
I have a question for you, Jama. Yeah. You know how we were talking earlier about the like after you graduate, how everyone goes away, and you're saying that like you didn't get the opportunity to because like the year before you kind of ruined it for everybody. If you could have gone away anywhere, where would you have gone away? What would you have done?
Can you repeat that again?
I was saying that like because you didn't get to go away like after you graduated high school or whatever.
Yeah.
Like where would you have gone or what would you have done?
Honestly, well, like thinking about it now, so honestly, I'd go. So, my parents, we planned because we always plan trips ahead, 1 year ahead. This as of on the day of COVID, when COVID happened, that day we were literally supposed to go to Singapore for a week, and then me, my mom, my sister, we go We go to Singapore for the week. We always did that too, and then we go visit Vietnam for a week, I think. So like, cause like every year we have a 2 week, 2-ish weeks, just say like vacation time, off work. Before we have to get back and before we lose money from the business and whatnot. So like Singapore,
Okay,
Vietnam, yeah.
that's really cool. I
Good.
just realized that that's like another one of like my pet peeves is like I like to plan everything.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, I like to plan everything, and when people like spring plans on me with like you know a couple hours notice, I'm just like, why are you doing this to me? Especially because my
Um.
friends do it all the time, and I always have to like remind them to give me like, if you give me a week's notice, I'll be fine. But.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Christine, it's either rice or steak are my two favorite
Rice,
foods.
rice and steak, yo.
Or steak.
Rice and steak.
I'd probably have both. I don't know.
Yo, you get that rice and steak.
Tarek, because I watch Tiny Hands on Twitch and she be the most wholesome, and that's where I let it from.
I think I let her live peacefully. I'm gonna drag her down with me, and then I just let the two of us in heck. And it's her sitting down, arms on her cheeks deflated. I don't know. Rice and steak? Yeah, rice with steak. I said. So rice and steak then? Rice?
Yeah, have to be with like steamed vegetables.
There we go. There's a new command added. The most wholesome ever, no questions. I love
I feel
how
like
this
I've
was
seen
about
this
rice and
command
instead
somewhere, Tarek.
Tarek the most. I love how
Hmm.
this was about rice and instead has turned into Murder Hour with Sammy and Tarek. Huh? Refund yourself,
Oh
Sammy.
no.
Refund? No, 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 no. Don't worry. Cause I have this. So I knew this was gonna happen during the interview, right, Sammy? So I made a copy of I duplicated my normal scene. Turn off shout out. Turn off talking hand. so so if you want talking hand, I have to switch back to the other scene of like when I'm like streaming normally. Like I have two same
I
scenes, two same overlays basically. I duplicated one, and
I
no.
saw this on your last stream and it was wild. The talking hand.
So honestly, big brain plays if anything here. Big brain. Because obviously, like during podcasts, I don't like to be interrupted. I don't think the guest likes to be interrupted either. Like I realized I interrupted Bo not once but twice that interview because of the talking hand. So I'm like, might as well duplicate it, make another thing, and then yeah. But that's basically it. So if it's anything, it's all big brains, yo. Crush. The hand is on my other scene. This scene I have right now is all meant for all this hand is made for only podcasts now. I mean, I could switch over to the other one, but then I have to restart streaming and everything. Sammy, feel free to feel free to refund yourself. Listen, you're learning, man. Give yourself credit for trying something. True. With no other further questions. With no other further questions, I'd like to say thank you, Rice, for joining me on this week's podcast.
No,
Um, I
no worries,
I
drama.
I originally had um, hi, it's Jesse for this week, but with like complications with her job as like as an employee of Twitch and all of that, it was really complicated. So thank you for being the backup plan.
No, it's so good. Thanks for having me. It was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Do you like to plug yourself?
Sure. uh, it's LilRiceLive on Twitch and also TikTok and I think Twitter. And then it's bj.grant on Instagram, if anyone would like to follow. For more maid outfit content coming soon, possibly. Who knows?
Can't wait to watch the next interview. So if you guys want to stop by, I don't know what time I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow, but I'm gonna be streaming a short announcement tomorrow with some live updates. So, like for the people who aren't gonna be there tomorrow, I might as well tell you guys now that I'm gonna be taking a break for 2 weeks, taking a 2 week break away from podcasts and whatnot. I don't want to spoil too much of what's gonna happen tomorrow, but yeah, I'm gonna be taking a 2 week break off podcasts and gonna got to enjoy myself more. Yeah, Flack was always here. He was just hiding in the shadows like everyone else. But yeah, if you guys want to come by tomorrow, feel free to come by. I've yet to know what time I'm gonna be free tomorrow, so I'll let you guys know. Updated on Twitter. If not, huh? Sammy, I have I have I have something. It's Team Canada. Hello. All right, Rice. Last question for you.
Yes. Okay.
Do you have anyone you want to raid?
Oh, okay. Let me have a look. Um. Oh, I think that I feel like we should raid Mr. Bewildy because I'd like to see some of that Doki Doki Literature Club, and especially watching Bo play it would be interesting. So I think Bo would be a good one.
Yeah, for sure. We could raid Bo. We could. Here, if I can find my stream elements. Oh shit! Playing Doki. Jims,
He do
why?
be black.
Why do you have Red Devil's lettuce on your shirt? Huh? All right, guys. I suppose we send you guys all over to Boeldi. Boeldi. Thank you, Rice, once again for being this week's interview guest.
No
Hope
worries,
all is
Shaman.
well. Hope everyone has a good rest of their Sunday. And I will see you guys tomorrow with an life update. Yes. So thank you everyone once again. Show Boweldy some love. And I think I should have 2 podcasts up this week, hopefully. So I think it's Epitome and Cobes. So there's Tomato sauce sus tomato sauce us. Wait, I can't read you. Tomato sauce is all over. All right, yo, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day, rest of your week. I'll see you guys around.
Later, Jama.
Peace out.